Let's talk about what's going on in the Massachusetts real estate market. Hi, I'm Linda Hafner, top producing realtor at ERA Key Realty in Central Mass, Worcester County. What is going on in the market right now? What was going on? And what do I think is going to happen in the market in the beginning of 2024 in Central Massachusetts, Worcester County? Elephant in the room, let's just talk about it right now. Is the real estate market going to crash? If you're waiting for prices to go down and for the real estate market to crash, I can tell you with pretty much good certainty that that is most likely not going to happen. I know there are a ton of headlines. People are trying to clickbait you into reading their articles. Oh, the market is crashing. It's not going to happen. I'm seeing a general trend in the opposite direction. Prices are still going up. If a crash was going to happen, it probably already would have come. If you look at the drastic change in interest rates between a year ago and now, take a look at this chart right here that goes over all the changes in the interest rate. Interest rates have changed from the 3s in 2022 to the 7s in 2023, and yet the most recent data that I have comparing sold data from August of 2023 and August of 2022, house prices are still up by 4.6% in Central Massachusetts. That, to me, is a clear indicator that we are not headed towards a crash, because even with that drastic rise of interest rates, people are still buying houses. People are still paying over asking for houses. That's what I'm seeing. All the houses that I have sold have gotten over asking. I sell a good majority of homes in Worcester County, in Worcester, Spencer, Oxford, Auburn, all in that general area. And every single offer that I had this year for my listing or for a buyer who put an offer in, all went over asking, anywhere from 10 grand over asking to one of my listings got $65,000 over asking. Based on what I'm seeing, the activity from buyers and the scarcity of homes that are on the market, because the reality is a lot of sellers don't want to lose that low interest rate that they have, and they aren't willing to sell. So there's even fewer homes on the market. Sale last August in Central Massachusetts, there was 926. And this year in 2023, if you look at this chart here, it's 709. That is a decrease of 23.4% of available homes for buyers. So there's really not a whole heck of a lot for buyers to choose from out there, and yet they're still buying. And that's also why they're going for over asking, because when a nice house does come on the market and the buyers want it, they're willing to pay for it if they can. Granted, some people can't afford it because the affordability factor is out the window. But for the buyers who can afford it, they are willing to pay over asking. Year over year, if you look at January through August of 2022 and January through August of 2023, there is a decrease in inventory of 42.8%. 42.8%. That's incredible. The demand for houses is still strong, but the inventory is down. So sales are down. So if you're listening to half the story and you hear, oh, sales are down, that means we're having a housing crash. No, that means people aren't selling their houses. Yes, sales are down because there aren't many houses for sale. Sales are down 23.5% because there are no homes that are on the market to sell. That's the problem. In the beginning of 2022, homes were selling for wildly over asking price. That was like March of 2022, because they knew the interest rates were going to start going up. So because of that, this year, the over asking price has gone down by 2.1%. However, if you look at August, in 2022 of August, you got 101.8% over asking price on the offers. In 2023, it's 102.5%. So as you can see, it's trending now, 0.7% increase in the month of August. But if you compare year over year, it's down 2.1%. What's a house going to cost you in Central Massachusetts? In 2022, last year, it was $439,450, and it's up 3.9% for just for single family, to 456,700. Single family homes was a 3.9% increase, despite the increase in interest. I mean, that is pretty telling to what the future of real estate is going to look like. My personal opinion is that if the interest rates do come down, that you're going to be looking at significantly increased competition and above over asking prices, because a lot more buyers who are not in the buying market right now because the interest point rate is in the sevens are going to be jumping back into the market once they go back down to maybe 6 or 5. So if you're thinking of buying a house, what makes more sense to you? Buying at a lower price and a higher interest rate, and then potentially being able to refinance down the road, which is what you could do now in the market in the fall of 2023, or you can wait until maybe spring of 2024. Maybe at that point inflation will be enough under control that the feds will stop raising the interest rates. They'll start to creep down again. You've got more buyers competing for the same house that you want, and so you're looking at paying, you know, 50, 60, 70,000 over asking price to get the house, but you get it at a lower interest rate. I mean, to me, you really need to use some common sense thinking these things out. I personally would prefer, if it was me, I'd prefer to pay the higher interest rate and get a lower price on the house than pay more for the house and get the lower interest rate. But of course, it also depends on whether or not your finances and situation will allow for that. So what I'm seeing in Worcester County is that the homes that are priced the most affordably are obviously the most desirable. I would say anything below 200 up to 400, people are wildly crazy over that price point. When you get over 400 and above, you may not get as many offers. It may take you longer to get an accepted offer, and the higher the price point, the longer it has been taking to get an accepted offer. Every open house that I have had on a new listing of mine in the past 3 to 4 months of 2023 has been very busy. I just had one a week ago. There were at least 14 groups of people that came through, and I'm saying groups like of 2 and 3 people that came through my open house. And that was the same with 3 of the other open houses I had, like June and July. I'm not seeing any stagnation in the buyer market. It's really more of the sellers willing to let go of their low interest rate and have to repurchase something else at a higher interest rate. That's the difficult part. But for the people who are relocating to a different state, situations like that, then those are the people who will definitely continue to sell. So what are your thoughts? I would love to hear from you. Please leave a thought in the comments. Based on your own personal knowledge or experience, what do you think the real estate market's going to do? I mean, I can give you my predictions based on what I see in the market, what I've seen in the past, and what I see happening day to day. But I would love to hear from you. You know, feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Let's take a look at the median price for the entire state. We're looking at, in 2022, the median price from a year ago was $595, and this year is $630. So that's up statewide. We're still looking at increase in prices despite the increase in interest rates. The demand for housing is extremely strong, but the inventory is extremely low. If interest rates go down, the market is going to significantly pick up. Watching the inflation, I think, is very important to the feds right now. So I think the housing market interest rate is going to follow the inflation rate. So that is where you want to be looking if you want to see where the trends are going. That's what I look at. I'm looking at, is inflation lowering, is inflation hiring? Because the feds are focused on lowering that inflation rate. So that's how you'll know when interest rates are going to be coming down, is when the inflation rate is coming down. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me. I would greatly appreciate it. Check out some of my other videos over here. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I do videos more often. Have a great day.